What's good, Washington Commander fans? All right. Things like the Washington Commanders are continuing to upgrade their offense and defense side of the ball with the latest moves throughout the week. Now, we already heard that Brian Johnson has been added to Cliff Kingsbury offense staff. Then also on the defensive side of the ball, we added another person. Now, two people, one person that I know that Dan Quinn wanted to get was Al Harris. Don't know the situation with Al Harris in Dallas at this moment, but we know the Dallas Cowboys had blocked the Commanders for, you know, interviewing with him. So that just that just added a lot of more tension and things. But nevertheless, the Commanders are moving as business as usual by adding some excellent staff. You got Dan Quinn that's 53. You got Kingsbury that's in his 40s. You got Brian Johnson that's in his 30s, and so forth and so on. Now, there one key element to this offensive staff that is very, very important that I'm going to bring up is that Tavita Prichard, the quarterbacks coach for the Washington Commanders, neglected to stay with the Washington Commanders because of the fact that he has a great relationship with Sam Howell and his development. Now, barring the issues that Sam Howell had with Eric Bieniemy and the offense, where there was not a lot of balance and the offensive line did not gel, or they didn't improve the offensive line in the offseason, which we already knew that was an issue going into from last year with Taylor Heineke being there and Carson Wentz. But nevertheless, that Sam Howell year could have been a little bit better if we had a better protection offensive line, the better offensive scheme could have been there. And then there's a lot of stuff that has came out that I pretty much knew, but it stated that how Eric Bieniemy was running the team. Ron Rivera really didn't run the team. He didn't make the decisions that he needed to do. But nonetheless, I'll get into all of that probably over the weekend. But the key thing is Tavita Pritchard is retained because that's going to help develop any quarterback that the Commanders draft in the draft this year, or the fundamental development of Sam Howell to utilize Sam Howell as a trade bait for the offseason as well. Because you don't want two young quarterbacks on your roster. Some people say, oh, well, keep Sam, build around Sam. Yeah, Sam has not been, he hasn't had a fair shake. Nevertheless, he hasn't had a fair shake. But at the same time, his indecisiveness is what cost him a lot, especially when you know the offensive line was bad. Then times you should have used your legs. You hold on to the ball too much. But he has good chemistry with Tavita Pritchard, so it helps out a lot. And Pritchard is alone. He is alone now of Stanford also. So with that being said, that you have great minds of college atmosphere around Brian Johnson, Pretty Richard, and Kingsbury, and since Pritchard will stay as the quarterbacks coach, it's going to help a lot. Like I said, for whoever we draft and whoever we have on this roster, you still could develop your quarterbacks. And most likely, Washington probably will carry three quarterbacks, a veteran, and Sam Howell if he still be on the team, and whoever they draft in the draft, which is I'm looking forward to them draft JD5. So that's my guy. So, but Pritchard was very highly sought after, but he turned down a lot of opportunities to Washington, and that goes to show you what Washington has become now under the Josh Harris regime. Because in the past with Daniel Snyder, nobody wanted to touch us with a 10-foot pole. Nobody want to come here. We be scratching here. Why nobody want to come here? Why we don't go out and sign this? Why we don't go sign this? Yeah, the only way we can sign guys if we throwing a big bag at them, a whole lot of money like Daniel Snyder have done in the past. But if it's not the money, then guys ain't gonna come. They're not gonna come to us. They're gonna come to the Commanders. they're not going to look at us and say, "Oh well, you to Washington," because the fact of the matter is that Washington is not a place where we could we could see as a winner, see as a great team, see as a team that's on the rise. Everybody was going everywhere. You look at the Cleveland Browns, you look at the Jets, you look at the Detroit Lions, you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even the New Orleans Saints. Guys, people was going there. They wasn't even looking at the Washington Commanders in the sense in that breadth of sense. That just didn't make sense. But now, coaches want to stay. And if you really pay attention to this coaching staff, it's almost like the coaching staff where Dan Quinn had in Atlanta, and almost like they had in Seattle. But I think it's a little bit more defined in that sense. I think he's making a lot of more changes, so that's a good thing. Pritchard was with us since 2023. He had interest around the NFL and impressed. He had impressed Dan Quinn. They said that he interviewed really, really well. He interviewed really, really well, and stuff. And like I said, he was a quarterback for Stanford, and you can't say much, And now he served as a quarterback coach, and he also was an offensive coordinator at his alma mater before coming to the NFL last season. So just to say, and then just to give credit to where credit is due, that's Eric Bieniemy's hire. That wasn't a Ron Rivera hire, because Ron Rivera do not hire guys like that. If Ron Rivera didn't have to, he probably would have kept Scott Turner. Just go figure. Ron Rivera fired Ken Dorsey, who helped develop Cam Newton over there when they went on the Super Bowl run, and he fired him instead of kept it. That just goes to show the level of experience of what coaches look. People might not like Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn knows how to put a damn staff together. He knows what to do. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a good look. Like I say, it's a good look for the Commanders to keep, your first holdover. That's been very, very productive. Now, I don't know who else on the team. I think the front office probably would change over probably around draft time or after the draft or something like that. They probably already got guys in there. We just haven't heard things. It's just a whole lot right now. Now, the next signing for the Washington Commanders is Larry Izzo. Now, we know Larry Izzo. He played for the New England Patriots and everything like that. He's probably one of the most decent guys that's out there that deserves a whole lot of attention. You know what I'm saying? He deserves a whole lot of attention. He did very well with Seattle. Washington snatched him up. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that Washington has had trouble with, is the special teams. We haven't really been good in the special teams department for a long, long time. And bringing somebody like Larry Izzo in as a special teams coordinator, where the Seattle special teams, he was with them for 2008. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ as a player. Grew up in Ashburn, Broad Run High School. So therefore, another DMV connection right there. So it's pretty good. But Izzo is 49. He's on the cusp of 50. So that's another average age right there. Not too old, just in the middle of the pack. Not too young, but has a ton of experience. Like I said, he is a 14-year career. Ended in 2009. He was a linebacker, and he made his mark on the special teams. And you already know that's how a lot of Bill Belichick players was able to move from special teams to either the offense or the defense, and being able to have some kind of contribution to their team. Because one thing we can say about Bill Belichick, yeah, you had Brady, but you had some great guys. You had Seymour, You had doggone Busky. You had Vabel over there. You had Rodney Harrison over there. You had the McCourty brothers over there. Hell, you had a lot of different guys over there that was leaders at the time. Ty Law, you know what I'm saying? All of them guys. And they all played, they was contributing. And through the years, they left, going to different teams or retiring, whatever the case might be. And Belichick never reduplicate the same kind of guys throughout the years, as you see the result of the Patriots for the last 4 or 5 years in the result. So, like I said, Izzo, he was named first team All-Pro in 2004. He also had 3 Super Bowl rings, which I noted that earlier, for the first time for his time in New England. After his retirement, he started coaching in 2011 as a assistant special team coach with the New York Giants. He stayed with the Giants in that role for 5 seasons before heading to Houston to be the special teams coordinator for them for 2 seasons. Then in 2018, he went to Seattle as a first ever assistant special teams coach for 3 seasons. He was promoted to special teams coordinator in 2021 and has experienced tremendous success. Now, according to FTN's special team DVOA metric, Seattle finished 5th, 4th, and 8th, respectively, over the last 3 years under Izzo. And if you look at how Seattle played, you could tell how these specialty and specialists, despite the change in special teams rules, you can see how important special teams still are important in the NFL because it helps set up great field position, and it also sets up great coverage field position when you punting the ball off or kicking the ball off. Your special teams can put in a 20. One thing we're gonna have to address is the long snap situation because Cheeseman, oh my God, I don't even want to go through that. But special teams does play a whole part because that could start your defense in a great position to keep your opponent close down to the end. And also on the opposite side, your offense could get great field position where they don't have to work the whole length of the field at the same time. So, but nevertheless, the Commanders are putting it together one hell of a staff. I mean, this is something that nobody really expects. The only question is who they're gonna pick at at number 2 in the draft. But that's something I will cover probably on Tuesday. I do have one more video I'm gonna drop about most likely why I keep that to myself. I'll let you know. But nonetheless, like I said, the Washington Commanders, I don't think they've done but their assessment of the offense and the defense side of the ball of their staff. Now, I do note this. Brian Hartline is out there to be had. And if I was Cliff Kingsbury, I would bring Brian Hartline in at some capacity. Because guess what? Say that the Commanders have success of whoever they draft, you're going to have somebody to take over. Say Kingsbury gets another head coach job. Brian Johnson. So you can promote one of them up to coordinator, or you can literally have somebody in waiting. Me personally, I think Brian Hartline would be a good addition to the team. Now, like I said, he could come in as a wide receivers coach. You know what I'm saying? Because he was over there with Marvin Harrison, he was over there with Terry McLaurin, and Chris Olave and Gary Wilson. So you bring him in as wide receiver coach, he could work with the wide receivers. He don't have to be as in the full capacity or anything like that. So like I said, I think Brian Hartline can be had because you never know. Jim Harbaugh out there could be looking at him. Seattle with Mike Madonna could be looking at him. But I wanted Brian Hartline last year, along with Joe Brady as offensive coordinator. But Brian Hartline decided to stay in Ohio State. Now that Ohio State has gotten Jim Kelly, which they had Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien took a job with Boston College as a head coach. Now you have Chip Kelly over there that left UCLA. I mean, he was the head coach. I don't understand that at all. I really don't understand. I think these coaches are afraid of developing a team because so much with the NIL and the transfer portal. So, they say Chip Kelly name was brought up as offensive coordinator for Washington as well. But you already know that to me, I don't think he was a great fit because he would have probably been there 1 or 2 years and looked for a head coaching job and been out. So you want to get somebody young that could put in time and be with your team and have the team have a lot of continuity. And that's what Washington's going to have for the first time in a long time is continuity with the coaching staff. They all going to be working in unison, not sitting back and allowing things to transpire and players are not happy and stuff like that. And that is one reason why Eric Bieniemy still is not on the staff. This is a reason why when people sit back and say, oh, well, we should give Eric Bieniemy a chance. Oh, that we did Eric Bieniemy wrong. I said to this, Eric Bieniemy did himself wrong from the day he took over and the first day of training camp. He did himself wrong. He was the one that didn't work with the players, you know what I'm saying? Yelling at the players, yelling at your captain and stuff like that. Players could take being coached hard, but they cannot take being embarrassed and yell at for no reason. And Eric Bieniemy, you could tell in his press conference, he's always cursing. Nobody wants to hear that. He was cursing at training camp. They was complaining about him cursing too much. So that's that. But anyway, the Washington Commanders are building a hell of a staff. And I'm just waiting to see what else we're going to end on there. But I still advocate for Brian Hartline to come in and be the wide receiver coach for the Commanders. But until then, y'all stay blessed. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. It's your boy Livewire Sports Media on the road to 3,000. Hit that like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Until then, I'm out.